Hello everyone and welcome back. In this week's video, we're going to be going over 3 steps to take before you start booking your first gig. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Andrew Marshall and I'm a professional singer, guitarist, and performer. On this channel, I post weekly content focused on taking those first few steps in pursuing your passion for music, by learning what it takes to take your talent from the bedroom to the stage or studio. This video marks the first video of a series of videos centered around how to get your first gig in 2020. So if you like this first video, be sure to hit subscribe below and hit the bell notification, and then you'll get an update every time I post a new video. If you're watching this in the future, just simply click the playlist in the description below. Number 1, define your act. One of the most important things when you start networking with venues is being able to describe what you do. Having an idea of what you bring to the table as a performer is imperative when you start booking gigs. Ask yourself the following questions. What are you? If you're a singer, do you accompany yourself on guitar or piano, or does someone accompany for you? Are you in a band? If you're an instrumentalist, are you in a band or group, or can you play solo with backing tracks? If you're a non-performer, what are you interested in? Booking shows, working festivals, maybe managing? The list goes on. See what kind of act you want to be. Decide on something, and if you don't have all the pieces together right now, that's totally okay. Figure out what best resonates with you and start developing it. If you need to learn an instrument to start accompanying yourself as a vocalist, go for it. If you need some other players to create a band, talk to some of your friends or people that you respect and get those things moving. Then you're going to want to define what type of music you actually want to play. Do you want to play original music, covered music? What genre? Country, jazz, pop? You name it. For me, I'm a solo singer-songwriter that plays original and cover music. My covers span from older artists like the Allman Brothers to contemporary pop like John Mayer, Jason Mraz, and Shawn Mendes. What you'll notice about that statement is that my act is clearly defined and concise, which is very important when talking to anyone about your music. Having a solid idea of what music you want to write and create sets an excellent foundation for networking for more gigs moving forward, branding yourself, and marketing your music. This leads us to step number 2, prepare your performance. So now you have a definition of your musical act. This next question is hard, but really important. Are you ready to be ready? Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that it's extremely difficult when booking your first gig to have everything in place right then and there. In fact, we often use it as an excuse to not gig. I'm not ready yet. I don't have a set list. I don't have a PA system. And the excuses go on and on and on. The biggest thing that you need to book your first gig is the mindset to know that if you book that first gig, you will be ready for that gig. I'll give you an example. When I was 18, I wanted to book my first gig. My only real experience had been with school events. I knew I could do it because I had just played my first gig where I played 15 minutes. Prior to that, every single time I performed, it was usually only one song that I prepared. After playing and preparing multiple songs for the first time for a gig, it gave me the confidence that I could continue to build this catalog and start gigging out. I knew that I had 15 minutes worth of material already, and all I had to do was start learning more covers and I could just add that. I gained the confidence that if I did book a gig, I could learn the music and get ready for it. And that's exactly what I did. Once I booked my first gig, I did not have my entire set list planned out. And for the next couple weeks before the gig, I prepared and I practiced and I got all the songs together so that the night of, I had enough music. I really want to stress this idea. You do not have to have everything together 100% in order to book your first gig. That kind of mentality will stop you from ever booking your first gig. No one is 100% ready for anything, really. As long as you have the drive to get what you need ready by the time that gig rolls around, you're ready to gig. Once that gig starts though, it's your responsibility to fill the time and do your best. But please don't stress yourself out about trying to be perfect. Even if you're 100% prepared, odds are you're not going to be perfect. And that's completely okay. You're going to learn so much every single time you play. But being prepared is necessary. Make sure you come to every single gig as prepared as you can be to do a good job that night or day. Just make sure you're in the mindset to be ready. Number 3, last but not least, create an action plan. This last step is a little combination of the last 2, but I really want you to write down your ideas so you have a plan moving forward. Before you start going ahead to contacting venues about performing, you need to sit down and realize what you need to accomplish before you even strum that first chord. To create an action plan, I want you to take a blank sheet of paper and separate it into 3 sections. Name them, what do I want, what do I have, and what do I need to know. What this exercise is going to do is allow you to visualize exactly what your goals are and what steps you need to take to actually achieve them. I'm going to do it with you, as if I'm 18 and I'm contacting venues for the first time to play. Again, you don't necessarily need to have all these things ready before you start booking your first gig, but this action plan will help you outline the steps so you can start working towards getting everything you need to start performing. So we'll start with, what do I want? I want to start playing live gigs, performing original and cover music. I want to play bars, restaurants, cafes, open mics, and other events. To keep this video from getting too long, I won't put much more, but for yours, make sure you elaborate on every goal you have. Next, we go to, what do I have? This is simple, and for me starting out, I had very little. I had about half an hour of music and a guitar. Use this as a chance to brainstorm what you may have lying around for gear. You may have old microphones, amps, other stuff. You'd be surprised what you have laying around that will be a great start to your goals. The less you need to do or buy for a gig, the better. You'll always have more time to upgrade as you start gigging. Lastly, what do I need to do? This is the fun part. When we break down our goals into smaller steps, they become more manageable. For 18-year-old Andrew, I have to learn more songs to build my set list. My first gig was about 2 hours of music, so I'll write that down. I need to contact venues that may hire live music, so I'll need to make a list of local venues to email or talk to. And I need performance gear, a PA system, a mic stand, and cables. Use this list to start brainstorming things that you can do to achieve things on this list. Make sure to really break down your goals into these smaller steps. For instance, say if I wanted to buy a PA system, I could write, I need to work more hours at my job to save up to buy this gear. Try to think of practical solutions to each one of your goals, so that when you go to look at them, they seem like you can actually manage to do them. Really be specific and write down every little step you may need to achieve these goals. Check off little things that you can do every single day. Once your action plan is written out, put it somewhere you'll always see it, so you can slowly start checking away at those little things you have to do. I'd also love it if you put your action plan in the comment section below. We can look at it together, ask questions, and ultimately help each other get to our goals. I'm also going to be posting my own action plan below as well, with all my goals that I'm currently working towards. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And that'll be all for this video. On the next video in this series, I'll be focusing on contacting venues and networking to get that first gig. If you have any questions or comments, put them below and I'll be sure to reply to them. Thank you for watching, and be sure to hit the subscribe and bell notification below if you haven't already. Also, if you're watching this in the future, the next video will be put right here, I think, or wherever it works on the screen. I don't know. Or you can click on the playlist in the description. Be sure to check out next week's video and stay fabulous.